This is part 9 of Breath of the Wild, and in this part we're going to continue exploring the freezing cold area of the Great Plateau. We're going to get a few items, including a nice little stash of treasure chests, and we're going to finish by making our way to the 3rd shrine here on the Great Plateau.
First of all, this area right here is just absolutely beautiful, and we're going to continue to see that throughout the game. I will say, like Red, we kind of talked about in the last part, I've not played a lot of open world games, but I can't imagine them being much more beautiful than this game is. The art style helps a little bit with that, but just the water, the waterfalls, everything's just gorgeous around this area.
Well, even the detail in this, like you see, even when we're on the pause screen, just like little puffs of cold air, like the vapor on Link's breath, and we see that while we're playing as well. It's the detail they put into this game, and we talked earlier in the last part, like torches keep you warm. It's like that's the kind of stuff you think is common sense that they managed to incorporate. It's the little touches that make this world not only such a big and beautiful world, but like the realism and the ingenuity you can use in this game is unbelievable.
Thanks for saying something that's common sense, and I did not think about it at all. So that really makes me feel better about myself. But one of the things I love right here is like you can see the water is flowing very quickly.
Yeah.
We'll get that throughout the game, and obviously it's like really hard to swim not swim with. It's actually very easy to swim with. Yeah. But if you're going like across or like upstream, that makes it very difficult, but it's just a little addition to the game that just makes it like more realistic. And like growing up by the Ohio River, I remember going down to the river sometimes and just seeing how fast it flowed. I mean, you're just like, dang, that's really moving fast.
Well, especially early in the game where our stamina meter is really small. And I don't know why I tried to hit that guy with a Korok leaf.
It happens. You didn't know you had it equipped.
But I do that with torches a lot too, so just don't worry about it. But when your stamina meter is as small as it is this early in the game, like any swimming can cost you health, can cost you time is the bigger thing. But when you try going against the stream of the river, you're not going to make any headway, and Link is going to go under before you even have a chance to recover. So it's important to keep in mind that the flow of the river, like that graphical detail, is also very useful.
I love just like right here behind the waterfall. Ever since Link to the Past, like, okay, first of all, if you ever heard of our commentary, for some weird reason, Red and I just love waterfalls. We think they're beautiful.
All games, we love them.
So, I'm talking about real life, but yeah, in games we love them too, definitely. But I'm just like, going back to Link to the Past right there, going behind waterfalls. But in this game, it's just, I mean, we've been able to do it in other Zelda games, but this game, like, you actually, well, I guess you find stuff in other Zelda games too. Well, but you'll see a lot more of it in this game where we'll go behind waterfalls, we'll find shrines, we'll find treasure chests. Sometimes we'll find absolutely nothing, but just a very cool aspect, and it's always fun to do.
It really is. And like you said, sometimes there's nothing back there, but I mean, you're going to see, we find, like this case, finding 3 treasure chests, all, I believe and there was a random sword laying there too, so we get like weapons. We get things that early on in the game, when you don't have weapons that have very good endurance, you don't have weapons that have very good stats. So when you find a stash like this, you get fire arrows, for crying out loud. I mean, it's nice to get any weapon that is better than what you already had. Like, I remember the first time I got a weapon that had a damage of 10. And I was like so excited,
Yeah, I mean, that's the crazy thing is like early on in the game, and obviously it makes sense. You get some weapons that are just like inflict no damage whatsoever. So like I remember myself too, like getting a weapon in double digits. I was like, wow, this thing can really do some damage. And then kind of go back to the arrows, like we said, they're very difficult to come by in this game. So any chance that you get them, especially 2 different sets of 5 arrows, like that's a huge treasure right there.
And I don't know why I didn't learn the lesson from the first white choo-choo that I killed that froze me. I felt like I had to get frozen by another one there.
Red, I'm not going to laugh at you because I can't even tell you how many times I went into numerous frozen enemies that have frozen me and be like, oh, well, they're not going to actually get me this time around because I'm doing something totally different. I'm running at a 88-degree angle instead of a 90-degree angle at them, so that makes all the difference in the world.
Hey, I learned my lesson. The last 2 that popped up, I just ran straight away from. So for once, I did not stop to kill every enemy on the screen, which my OCD does not often allow me to do.
You did have some OCD on that last shrine, though, where you had to blow up that last block right there, so it did kick in right there. And I don't know people, I'm sorry, I'm not a math major or geometry major. I don't know if my angle argument made sense there at all. I was basically just trying to think of a 90-degree angle, and it kind of had two sides going straight and vertical.
Hey,
well, that was stupid. Vertical and horizontal. And so I was trying to think of it that way. So I don't know if it made any sense, but oh well.
I think you just made it worse, actually. But that's
I probably did make it worse.
We've talked, and we're going to talk a lot about the beauty in this game. But like part of the and you're going to see me do this a lot in the gameplay. I will run to the ledge of a cliff or a mountain or something.
Yeah.
And just look, and it might make some people dizzy how much I rotate the camera angle, and I apologize for that.
I'm fine with it.
I do it a lot to just take in all the sights in this world that there are in this Hyrule that there are to see. Like just there a few minutes ago, we saw like the sunset was starting to hit the river down below, and I just stood there for a second just to see it. And I know some people are just like, hey, go to point A, go to point B, whatever. But for me, it's like, again, we've mentioned this, but the world is such an important part of this game, and I want to take in as much of it as I can. So you'll see a lot of instances where I'll rotate the camera or I'll stop for a second just to take in like a vista or a view or something, and I do not apologize for that.
Well, the thing is, if it doesn't bother you, it's probably not going to bother them. But like, I'm okay with it too, because this game, like, everyone's going to get different views. You're going to be at different points, different elevations, at different times during the day with different sunsets, storms, whatever. So every view is different. So I think it's cool, and also like, if you're actually not playing this game and you are watching this series, it does give you a glimpse of what all around you and how. Now, okay, first of all, I got to interrupt my own self. If you've been watching like 9 parts of this already, like our commentary, and you've not gone out and bought this game, I don't know how you survived or disciplined yourself good enough on that one, because I would go out and buy this game right away.
Oh, I mean, and we did. We bought it opening day.
That's true. That is true.
But it's like, that's why. And that kind of goes back to a few points ago where we talked, or a few parts ago where we mentioned like not warping around that much. It's just this world, in this game world, it's got so much to offer, I think. Not just in secrets, but in just the sights you get to see. And I know the Nintendo Switch isn't the most powerful console out there when it comes to pushing graphics, but their art style, and you mentioned this as well, like in one of our offline talks, just the art style complements what this system can do.
Yeah, agreed.
So well, and and it's Zelda. We love Zelda. We love the world.
It's
a lot of time.
It's a lot like Wind Waker. Like, they use that shell shading, and like like for the GameCube, it wasn't very strong, but it really made that game beautiful. And then you kind of also talk about the other beauty of the game, like. A lot of times it's simple beauty. For example, that pond right there, right before the shrine, like, not a lot to it. Wasn't even really necessary, but just that little pond, it just adds what I call simple beauty. Not necessary, but why not go ahead and make it and just add to the beauty of the game?
And how about the sun setting right behind the shrine there? I just happened to hit it at a good time that was happening. But now that we're entering the next shrine, this will go ahead and wrap up part 9 of our Breath of the Wild video series.
And I want to say some of those sunsets throughout this game are just absolutely beautiful.